Okay, Muck. It's time. Must be all those monsters you drink. Dude, I just opened one. What am I doing? Okay. Oh, man, I'm in a weird spot, too. Let me just move myself over here. Oh, hey, thanks for that follow. Okay. You're probably right, Shogring. Okay, Muck. Let's do this. Let me just move this window over here. Okay. So let's just so some extra details at the moment I'm writing this. There's environment piece there. I'd like you to focus on the material game and some advice on how to create compelling environments. And you have this one here, right? This scene, I'm sure you guys remember us looking at this. Man, I hate how this there we go. It's a really cool scene. Move my super cool scene. Okay, so let's go through the first step here. So we've got overall perception of what you want to do, right? And when I'm curious about, okay, what does this person want to do? First place I usually look is right here. Oh, thanks, Martin. Another thing, just a small little thing. I've been looking at portfolios so much this week and last week, tons of them for internships and whatnot. There are portfolios I was not actually able to view because for whatever reason they were blocked on a network, and the only things that were coming through were ArtStation. So if there's ever been a really good reason to be using ArtStation, it's so I can actually see your art. I couldn't believe how many, we're talking 10% of portfolios I looked at, I couldn't look at them because they were trying to use a different website or just use ArtStation. This is my personal opinion. It'll make it easier. You don't need Pro to make a portfolio either. So, okay, so the first thing to check off is the overall perception of what you want to be. And I'm seeing environment artist, material artist, and we're seeing a combination of a ton of really nice materials. There's some doodles on the end here, which I'm totally down with. But you've got the scenes that you're starting. Is this just a tileable material? So you've got two scenes, man, and a lot of really strong materials. I'm actually a really big fan of these scenes. And I can tell that you want to be an environment artist because you're putting your environments first, and then you've got all these really well done materials. These look really nice. So you're doing that well. I would say your thumbnails look good as well. If you want to go the material route of man, this is kind of interesting. If you want to take these materials and just the overall perceived image of your portfolio, I would really like to see you experiment with this. You don't have to do it, but imagine if your materials were material balls, right? Like everyone else. So then you match the background, okay? I don't really have a problem with the way you're presenting these materials because they look really nice. But if you were to put these all on a sphere and then use the background color, then you have this portfolio where you have these elements floating in space, right? And then it's okay, well, how do you keep that look going? You could, how some people on their walls, they'll put different sized frames for their pictures on their wall. You have really wide ones and then tall ones and square ones, and they're just kind of they're off center from each other and kind of scattered throughout. These images are quite small, but let's see here. I kind of wish there was a way to control how big these got. But what if, let's just take this top row and we'll just make a new. So if we take this top row and your background color, whatever that is, I'm just going to grab this. We'll just scale it up. Cool. Okay, so we got the background color there. So what if, I'll just make a mask. What if this image here, this might be crazy. What if this was like a framed photo, maybe somewhere like that, and then maybe this one was a framed photo like this. And then you have your, let's do this first. And then you have your material ball, right? We'll just do it with these rows here. Oh no. We'll just do it with that row. And your materials look like this. And you actually put a frame around them. You went the ball route on your Instagram. Oh, that's interesting. But can you imagine a portfolio where you have a bunch of different frames? I find this quite interesting. Because you could get like a nice photo frame. And then you can just like, let's see here. You could just move these around inside of it, right? To get like an interesting framing. It would look so much more intriguing to me. I mean, even if you wanted to like do some stuff like this. Oh, this is crazy. If some of the framing was like different parts of this image in the little squares. I wonder if that would look interesting. Oh man, it'd be cool. It would be super cool. And maybe you have another one coming, right? Another image that's coming. You could have a coming soon tile with like an empty photo. Nancy, what's up? How you doing? But I think that would be really, really interesting. I don't know. Think about it. Maybe make all the thumbnails and just try it out. See what it looks like. But I think this could be really powerful, especially if you got some ambient occlusion around these and a nice like frame, like white and yellow or orange frames or something like that. Could be really cool. Anywho, in general, your portfolio looks really strong. Your banner looks really nice. What is that? Is it the intro to the song? What? I'm very confused. That is a song. Anyways, super cool portfolio. Has really nice variety. Lots of organics in here. Maybe adding some more hard surface stuff. You've got a little bit here. And that's if you want to like expand more in your materials, right? Yeah. Let's look at the next part of this. So strong pieces. I think actually you've got two environments and both of them are very strong. The close-ups are really nice. There's some issues where you have the little edge wear on here is pretty consistent or uniform along the entire surface. Watch out for that. I don't see it on everything, so I'm assuming that it's more of like a visual error because this looks really it's good. That water looks really nice. I'm expecting like that super see-through like water tentacle thing coming out from, what is that, sphere? Is that sphere? I think that's in. So this is solid stuff. This is really good. I think with the video, I would see if you can find a way to get this video into YouTube, or not into YouTube, into ArtStation. Hey Wes, how you doing? Yeah, curious. I think that wall of photos would be really cool. Like this. Oh yeah, and just to tangent on a little bit more. These are sketches, right? Get like a sketchbook, place it on a table, green screen the table out, and then put your sketches on the page. And then it's just like the sketchbook's kind of there. Maybe there's a pen next to it. And it would just keep that whole aesthetic going. I think it would be really cool. But yeah, kind of like this even if you want to do it like that. But when I scroll through this portfolio, I think maybe this image is the weakest one in here. Like there's not really there's no contact shadows or ambient occlusion that's kind of happening over here. This tarp feels like cloth, but is shiny like tarp, so it's behaving a little strange. So that's something to watch out for. I think you could actually remove that image, and it would make the entire just this scrolling experience stronger. And then this image, this one I would actually put above your materials. And then what you've got, I'm just trying to think about cutting down on it's Gucci tarp. Cutting down on scrolling. So if like maybe if you put these next to each other in one image, so it's just a wide 4x4 and another 4x4 next to it. And then same with maybe taking this one and putting all 4 of them next to each other so it's more wide and not as tall. Same with this one. You could probably put all 3 of them in a row, and then we make the height of this. So just the scrolling goes down, the amount of scrolling that you have to do. But your materials look super nice. Yeah, it's really good. So weak pieces. I mean, I think when it comes down to it, nothing's really necessarily weak. Let me look at this one. This one's kind of seems like a stretch for a material. And then this one, like this is, I know this is an Empire challenge. I think the way it's being presented here, it doesn't look as strong as if it's on a sphere. So if you can get that on a sphere, I think that would be much more visually appealing. What's this one? Oh yeah, see the sphere for this one's so interesting. And I don't get any of that with this image. These little plants look nice. Maybe if they were slightly different colors so you can kind of see them separating from the material a little bit more. I think the only other thing you could probably do to push your materials up a little bit right, Mike? This is a great portfolio. Maybe start reorganizing them in their temperature. So go from like warm to cold. But yeah, I would probably, this is probably a weak one. This one's weak just based off of the way it's being presented on the surface. And this one doesn't, like the thumbnail doesn't give justice to this look you get with the sphere. Your stylized stuff is really interesting. I like it. So I think that kind of checks it off for like weak piece. Kind of like One Piece, but not nearly as long. So your overall perceived strength. If I had to look at this, I would say your overall perceived strength is consistency, actually. Whether it's stylized or going for more realistic, you have very consistent look going on. And when you go into your realistic type of art, it still looks like your stuff next to the stylized stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's stylized. That's more realistic, and somehow they're still consistent with each other. Your scenes are very strong, minus a few of the things I had been commenting on from earlier. But I think if I'm looking at you as an environment artist, the perceived strength, I think, is just the understanding of the space that you're building and knowing how to prop to make it look like it's being lived in. Does that make sense? or that it's an actual space that someone spends time in. Even in this space, which is arguably made up, right? This one feels like people do things in here. This is a little generic, the way the lid is like tipped back off of the back of this, but the overall is quite strong and has a lot of character and understanding of like the space usage. Like this whole framing, this framework stuff around this, that's really interesting. And that type of detail only comes from someone who's either doing a lot of research or they've seen things that have kind of influenced their choices. So you're showing a lot of understanding of being influenced by outside forces, such as like film and movies, or film and like TV shows and whatnot, and just media in general. And then you also are looking at references, I assume, just based off of like the things that are in here. Presentation's really good. Oh man, I love this. This is going beyond. So you made this as well. You had a really positive interview with a VR company. Dude, nice job, Tuscary. Man, yeah, you're looking good, dude. Perceived weaknesses. I'm not. So I haven't seen any organics. So organic environments. I see organic materials. So that gives me some feelings about like you actually can do it, but I haven't seen you build like an outside. The text is from the Shape of Water wiki. Oh, okay, cool. But I don't think I think the next scene you should build, if you want to show like your like flex a little bit on your skill and wipe away one of the possible weaknesses, as it's bringing in and looking at building an outdoor scene, whether it's like a creek or a stream or just some like fields and some trees and stuff, and just how you put that all together. That's, you're trying at the moment to do an organic environment. It's hard. Nice. So you're confronting your fears. I think as for suggestions for moving forward, I think that's probably where I'd go. Is now that I'm looking at the way I'm formatting this, is overall perceived weakness and suggestions for moving forward. My suggestion would probably always to kind of push into your weaknesses. Maybe not always. You should go maybe 20% of the time push into your weaknesses and fight them head on. And then the other 80% of the time, just like flex with what you know and strengthen that skill and just get better at it, right? So you do this forest scene or this like organic scene you're talking about. After you do that, make a material. It's like, it'll be fast for you. You'll get the enjoyment out of it. It'll kind of refresh you a little bit. And then from that material, maybe you can make another scene. Maybe not organic. Maybe it's more in your comfort zone. Think about another place that you could build. I think that would be the best way to go forward. Okay, we're gonna go to your about. Okay, this is where I'm like, all right, let's see this. So this is good that you're identifying you're looking for full-time employment. Your skills, digital painting, environment design, web design, photo manipulation. I don't know if you can change the order of these, but I would put the things you're most interested at the top. This is good with the software. I don't see anything where I'm like, huh, that's weird. There's no, you don't have Unreal in here, do you? Or the Unreal Engine. So look into that. Make sure you get every software in here that you work with. I'm an artist based in Helsinki, interested in all things 2D and 3D. And watch out for and like 2D, comma 3D, comma and beyond. I think the comma after before and is a North America thing. I was caught on that the other day, but I'm focusing on all my time on various aspects of making beautiful 3D environments or PBR materials that can be used in any engine. And then you got your, I'm not going to do the resume or the PDF portfolio because then the review is going to get extra long. So we'll have to watch out for that. But I think if you could spell this out and really think about this as like an open letter to anyone who's like, this is very short to me. Maybe twice the size of this or 3 times, and I think you'd be good. I want to know like I know it says you're into 2D and 3D, but like what about it? What do you want to be doing in this 2D or 3D interest that you have that goes beyond, right? Like for me it's immersion. It's like you want to build environments, or do you want to build props? I think it's environments, right? Because I see it up here. So knowing what you want to focus on, making beautiful 3D environments. It's like expand on, maybe talk a little bit about like what you've been doing over the last like 3 to 5 years. Maybe if it's all schooling and stuff, and talk about your developments and your interests. Keep it, it's a summary, right? So it's more about like, who are you? Nice, Muck. Anyways, your portfolio is very strong. I don't think you should have too much of a hard time getting a job somewhere. When I'm looking, because I'm looking down right now because I have my screen here, my XP Pen screen. It's like, it's a strong portfolio, man. I think with the amount of materials on here, you might get more people asking you to do materials for them than environments. But these environments are very, very good. You could possibly zoom in on this shot a little bit more just to kind of focus on the details instead of the overall scene, because then they'll click on it out of curiosity and then see a bigger scene and be even more surprised or wowed. But yeah, nice job, dude. And I made sure I recorded this one, so